I'm Tim Gordon with your weekly recap. We're going to catch you up on some of the biggest stories of the week, like the mayor of Portland considering restarting enforcement of the city's camping ban, when that could happen. Plus, one local family's appeal after they say ICE violently arrested a Portland man who now faces deportation. And details on which Starbucks locations are closing here in Portland after the company announced some downsizing. Our top story this week, a murder suspect was returned to custody after he was mistakenly released from the Multnomah County Jail. 26-year-old Tyler Sage was released despite a judge's order to keep him behind bars. On Thursday, deputies say U.S. Marshals helped arrest Sage at a gas station off Highway 101 in Florence. Sage is charged with second-degree murder in connection with a 2021 shooting in Gresham that left a 15-year-old dead. He'll now be booked into jail on a no-bail hold. The mistake that let Sage out of jail is being blamed on a clerical error that allowed him to bail out despite the judge's order. The court documents filed from that hearing actually did show a bail amount.
The initial release order was signed on September 17th, which many of you have reviewed. It contained information that indicated that Sage's bail had been set to $5,000. We are taking this incident extremely seriously.
The Multnomah County Sheriff said her office is conducting a review to see how communications with the court can be improved. She also said no employees have been put on leave over this. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson announced he is considering enforcing the city's camping ban soon. This week, he said the city now has consistent available shelter capacity. The city first started enforcing the camping ban last July. People camping on public property who repeatedly refuse the offer of available shelter face citations, a fine of up to $100, and potentially up to a week in jail. Oregon law allows cities to enforce camping bans like this only if it is, quote, objectively reasonable and there is available shelter. Last year, when enforcement began, city outreach workers were sent to problematic campsites first. Police ended up making just a handful of arrests.
And I applaud him for moving in this direction. We all wish it had happened sooner.
We are hopeful that this can be good for those who are experiencing homelessness, that hopefully they can get holistic care, not just get kicked off the street.
The mayor is talking of resuming enforcement starting November 1st. Well, earlier this week, an explosion rocked a Portland food cart pod, destroying some carts and damaging more. Now, as business owners quite literally pick up the pieces, they're also trying to help one another recover. David Mulco has the story.
Startling video as a food cart explodes. A leaky propane tank, fire officials say, shattering the early morning peace on Tuesday, and for some, their livelihoods.
I just was in shock, to be honest with you.
Michelle Rademacher owns The Crystal Guide, a shop at the Springwater Cart Park. The explosion blew in her door, damaged the walls and ceiling, and destroyed some of the merchandise she sells for more than 100 independent artists.
They've grown to be like family, and it's their art, their time, their passion.
Though she also marvels at what was left untouched.
This is that mirror that I was talking about that I've had since I was 8 years old. It really should have fallen off that wall and broken.
This cart pod's been around for almost 15 years now. Some of these carts have been here since the beginning.
Aileen Kish's family owns the park and started a GoFundMe to help the carts that were most seriously damaged.
My plan is just to help them as much as I can and be the support that as an owner should be.
The fortunate ones are already back in business. And this Saturday, a previously planned makers market for local artists will still go on, though will now serve as a fundraiser.
We're going to persevere and get this cleaned up so that they can still come and share their wares, and we can have that sense of community because we need it now more than ever.
David Mulco, KGW News.
A Portland man is set to be deported after he was arrested last week. According to his daughter, immigration officials would not say where they'd be deporting her father, who she identified as Rafael Areola Caballero, but the family assumes Mexico. On September 16th, federal immigration officials arrested Caballero on his way to work, breaking his car window. On Wednesday, Ramirez said her father called from the ICE facility in Tacoma, Washington, to say he would be deported that morning. Caballero's daughter says her dad offered the agents a red card, which describes the rights available to undocumented people facing detention. Family says he moved to the United States from Mexico 20 years ago and is undocumented. She believes traffic violations are the only thing on his record.
There's only so much that can be done, regardless if he does get deported or not. Because how they took him is not the way that they should have taken him.
Ramirez says her father had elbow surgery 3 weeks ago and still has stitches. She's afraid that he's been hurt and is not getting help. We, of course, have reached out to ICE officials for comment on that deportation, but have not heard back yet. An Oregon firefighter who was detained by ICE for a month is now free and back home. Attorneys for Rigoberto Hernandez told KGW that Homeland Security dismissed his removal. The 23-year-old firefighter was one of a 44-person crew working the Bear Gulch fire in the Olympic National Forest when he was arrested by Border Patrol agents on August 27th. Attorneys with the Portland Innovation Law Lab worked to help free Hernandez, filing a petition for his release. But before that petition was considered in court, the government dropped the deportation case.
This is certainly the outcome we wanted from day one, from the day we learned of his arrest, and we're super happy that it happened yesterday. Of course, this should have never happened.
In a statement, Hernandez said in part, "I am glad that I am home. I am excited to see my family. I want to give my thanks to everyone." Hernandez says he will now continue to pursue legal status through a U visa, something he applied for 7 years ago. A 9-year-old boy was critically injured in the Mill Park neighborhood this week after getting hit by a car while riding an electric scooter. It's raising some questions about the rules and regulations surrounding these scooters. Police told us Thursday the boy was out with friends and riding his e-scooter in a crosswalk when he was hit. Celine Stevens has more.
What we really hope is that what comes out of this tragedy is our community pays attention to what the laws are with regard to these e-scooters and follows them.
Wednesday night, just after 7:30, Portland police say a 9-year-old boy was riding his e-scooter in a crosswalk at Southeast 122nd and Lincoln when a car hit him.
He has a head injury. We know he was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash.
He was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Portland police say that while deadly crashes are rare, they do happen, and too often, riders aren't following the rules.
Because we do see a lot of people violating the law and the letter of the law when it comes to how they're operating these things. We see it, we're aware of it.
So, what are the laws around e-scooters? The Oregon Motor Vehicle Code breaks down the rules, which include that riders cannot exceed 15 miles per hour, must walk the scooter in a crosswalk, and passengers are not allowed.
So, whether you're renting a scooter from Lime or Lyft, or whether you're using your own private e-scooter, travel with caution, use a helmet, stay off the sidewalk, and use a bike lane whenever possible.
Providence St. Vincent emergency doctor Philip Friesen says e-scooter injuries are now a regular part of his work.
At least a couple a week, and it's not something that I saw even probably 10 years ago. It's definitely been the last few years that we're seeing them.
He says wear a helmet.
No matter the age, or your comfort level or expertise, is always be helmeted because, again, a brain is something that can't be replaced.
And slow down.
You'll certainly see, e-bikes and e-scooters, 15 to 25 miles an hour, and we see car accidents at that speed anyway, with potentially bad injuries, because we don't, I think, recognize that 20 miles an hour and just a helmet might even not be enough.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
The driver in this crash was driving a rented car and stayed on scene. She is not currently facing any charges. Well, you may have to drive a little farther to get your pumpkin spice latte in Portland. Starbucks announced Thursday it's closing non-performing stores across the country, including a few in our area. 15 Starbucks locations are closing in Oregon, and 5 of those spots are in Portland. They include 2 on Burnside Street and the Starbucks inside the Pacific West building downtown. Customers who frequent the PSU location say it's a good reason to now put more money back into local businesses.
It's kind of sad because I know that a lot of people at my school really enjoy coming here. It's pretty sad to see that option being taken from them, but I also do know that there are a lot of independent coffee shops around the area that I think will appreciate the support a lot more than Starbucks, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, will.
Starbucks announced it will also lay off 900 retail employees as part of their plan. We have a warning from local police after credit card skimmers turned up in at least 7 local stores over the past week. The stores involved are in Portland, Tigard, and Hillsborough. Last Sunday morning, a customer discovered a skimmer at the 7-Eleven store on 99W and Southwest Park Street. The day before, police say managers at 2 different Dollar Tree stores on 99W found card skimmers. Hillsborough police say skimmers were found at 3 Dollar Tree locations in Washington County. And on Tuesday, Portland police responded to the Dollar Tree at Mall 205 after someone found a card skimmer there.
We only know about the cases that are reported. And so how much more prevalent this is difficult for us to say, but we have definitely seen an increase in the last couple of days all throughout the metro area in different jurisdictions. So it is something that is definitely happening right now.
So if you recently used a credit card at any of those stores, police say pay extra attention to card activity and report anything unusual. If you can, use tap or a mobile wallet instead of swiping a card. It's safer. And always cover the keypad when entering your PIN. Well, in the fall season, the rental market slows down and it's a lot easier to find a place to live. Despite that, some Portland renters are feeling the squeeze as prices continue climbing. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson took a look at how far your rent money is stretching compared to just 5 years ago.
5 years ago, $1,500 meant choices, often a one-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood close to work or transit. Today, renters say that same budget feels like a compromise on their wallet, pushing them into smaller spaces or out of the city core altogether.
For Portland resident John Kelly, how much he pays in rent each month is top of mind.
We've become rent slaves, and our disposable income has been taken from us, and it's not going back to anything.
Kelly has lived in Southeast Portland for the last 4 years in the same apartment. He tells KGW this year his rent will climb to $1,900, up from $1,300 he paid when he first moved in. The city's rental code allows landlords to raise rent by 10% a year without penalty. Renters like Kelly say that protection isn't doing much to ease the squeeze. Now he's relocating farther away from the city.
Between the utilities and the increase of the cost of the rent itself, you've basically made it so, like, if 10 years ago I bought a $300,000 home, for utilities and total mortgage, I wouldn't be paying as much as what I'm paying now.
In Portland, the average one-bedroom rents for about $1,530 a month, with an average size of about 645 square feet, according to Apartments.com. Pre-pandemic, that same $1,500 could have landed closer to 750 to 800 square feet. That extra footage enough for a small home office or living area that renters simply don't get now.
What we're seeing in Portland is that the typical rent is $1,730 a month. Now that's up 22% from prior to the pandemic. And the income that you need to be able to afford a rental in Portland is now more than $75,000. It was about $60,000 prior to the pandemic.
So why is this happening? Housing experts point to a mix of inflation, high demand, and slower wage growth that's contributing to the problem. Zillow Home Trends expert Amanda Pendleton tells KGW wages aren't increasing as quickly as rent prices. But there are a few ways you can still find the best bang for your buck if you're looking for your next rental.
We know that you're not going to have a lot of leverage to negotiate on the rent itself, but you can ask for a free month of rent or free parking or reduced pet fees. 45% of all rentals in the Portland metro area are offering some type of concession right now, so this is a pretty reasonable ask.
Zillow experts say stark rent increases like we're seeing here in Portland are impacting renters in other major cities as well. Nationwide, rent prices are actually up 35%, so the Rose City is doing a little bit better than the nation as a whole. Corey Johnson, KGW News.
All right, well, check out this story that went viral online. An Oregon Army National Guard physician assistant has pushed his way back into the record books. Major Tommy Vu ripped through 1,721 push-ups in 1 hour at a West Salem gym. Oh, he's wiped out there. That must have been at the end. Smashing the previous record of 1,530. Vu held the record before.
I always say, I encourage everybody to pick out small goals in their life. I mean, I do fitness stuff, but whatever goals you guys set, start small, work your way up. Eventually you grow your goals into these crazy things.
Wow. Well, Vu says he dedicated the feat to his family's pet dog, who passed away earlier this year, and pledged $1 per push-up to the Oregon Humane Society. The record is still awaiting official verification by Guinness World Records. Now it's time for your weather.
What a great and yes, easy week to be a weather forecaster in Portland. Here it is Friday, and we're wrapping up what we expected. Just a glorious week of weather. We have sunshine from our coast all the way to the Idaho border. We're going to have more sunshine tomorrow. We've got pleasant September temperatures. Now, we're still expecting a drastic pattern shift to take hold Sunday night into Monday. So when folks get up to go to work Monday morning, totally different world. It's all developing coming up from our northwest. I want to go ahead and jump to that. So here's our Futurecast movie. This is meant to be a weather movie of what to expect this weekend until it starts to change Sunday night. So this is 5 o'clock this afternoon. So not seeing anything, right? Just sunny skies, gorgeous weather. My goodness. Mainly 70s inland today. There's a little ribbon of some passing cloudiness tomorrow. We had that yesterday late day, but overall, Saturday still sunny, including at the coast. Now Sunday, different story. Probably clouds right from the get-go on Sunday for the beach. And then we will, assuming we start partly cloudy Sunday morning, we'll cloud up during the day. But the valley will stay dry. Now this does bring rain in, the first band of rain, in fact, Sunday evening to the coast. This may be a little too fast, but we will see rain, I think, overnight into Monday morning here in the Willamette Valley and up and down I-5. Now, what about the latest rain projections? This is Sunday evening, and it shows the manageable rainfall at the coast, and then a 2-day rain amount for Monday and Tuesday, which is what I've been showing this week. So Monday, Tuesday, manageable rainfall all the way out through Baker City, over 1 inch at the coast, 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch of rain in the valley, and then we'll add to these rain totals a little bit Wednesday, and we'll add to these rain totals on Thursday. So you come up with a 4-day amount that could exceed 2 inches at the beach, could get 1/2 inch or more up and down the valley, with some areas breaking 1 inch. This shows Portland 82/100s down in Corvallis 1.31, and some decent amounts out across eastern Oregon. And by the way, we have not gone more than back-to-back days of measurable rainfall since May. There was a stretch of 6 days in a row in mid-May that had measurable rainfall. So if we can do it 4 days in a row, again, this will be the first kind of extended period of rainy weather since mid-May. And that's just a sign that that was wrapping up the rainy season. Now we're beginning the rainy season, right? Some cameras, they're all just a pleasure to look at. Our Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, just beautiful sunshine. There's Mount Hood, beautiful clear sky, my goodness. I want to point out the Oregon Veterans Home camera in the Dalles. There's the Columbia River, light winds. We had red flag warnings for high fire danger yesterday for parts of the Columbia River Gorge out toward Pendleton and the Columbia Basin up into Washington. All of those red flag warnings for fire danger have expired. The winds will be much lighter today, so that's good news. Again, there's Salem. There's our Vancouver, the Springs of the waterfront looking at the Columbia River, and there's downtown Portland. Okay, had fun showing you the cameras. We have temperatures in the 70s today. Corvallis 77, Salem 75. Similar numbers up into southwest Washington. 75 degrees in Longview. Sunny, pleasant day. Just fabulous late September weather. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Again, the 60s at the coast, but inland areas generally 70. A few spots could make it to 80. This shows at 5 o'clock the Dow 78, could get up to 80 out there in Wasco County in the East Gorge. And here's our 7-day. So again, no change today. Sunny, fabulous. Tomorrow, no change. Sunny, fabulous, 78. Sunday stays dry, but we cloud over, 74. Then we wake up to some wet streets on Monday morning, and then we have rain at times on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We think there could be times next week where the snow level would be sticking below 6,000 feet. That means we could get some light snow sticking at Timberline Lodge, and that's our forecast here in the Rose City.
This bridge has been years in the making. It spans Highway 99W connecting east and west sides of Sherwood. City leaders say it's about more than safety. It's about identity and pride.
So we have this highway that separates our town east and west.
99W carries about 42,000 vehicles per day through the heart of Sherwood.
So it's hard for people to get back and forth. And we're a town that is known for its trail system and its sense of community. And then the school district decided to put a new high school in, which is great. It's an amazing school. And that really accelerated this question, how do we get something in to protect our students and provide that connectivity between the two sides of town?
Now, a sweeping new bridge connects neighborhoods, the high school, and the local YMCA.
We opened right before school started, and we're $1 million under budget, so I couldn't be happier.
The bridge is practical, and it's a statement. At night, it transforms into something spectacular.
The first thing I noticed was all the people on the bridge. The lights make it just wonderful. You do feel like you're in a special place when you walk across the bridge.
From above, the color-changing LED lights make the bridge appear as a glowing wave across the highway. On game nights, it will even shine in Sherwood Bowman red and black.
When you're sitting in the stands over there, you get to see the bridge all lit up with the Bowman colors. So that's going to be pretty cool too.
Jerry and Martha Joy think it's pretty cool too.
It's beautiful. The bridge is beautiful, and the improvement is gorgeous and very, very nice.
The official ribbon cutting is this Saturday at 10 a.m. The high school marching band will be among the very first to cross the new Sherwood Bridge, a project leaders hope will keep students safe and bring the community even closer together. Chris McGinnis, KGW News.
Thanks to Chris for that. That is really cool. And that is a wrap on your weekly recap. I'm Tim Gordon. You can catch up on the latest headlines anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or our YouTube channel.